Good day everyone, how are you? I hope you are doing well and always safe. I am YESELUCIO and PATRIARCA Jr. from the Division of Valencia City, an education program supervisor and a focal person for alternative learning system. Today I will be presenting to you the topic on the inclusion of ALS in the school-based management. And at the end of the session, it is expected that the ALS implementers will be able to identify the roles and responsibilities of ALS teachers, school heads, and the division, region, and central office. Recognize ALS in school-based management. Reflect on how the process of implementation of ALS is in SBM and the utilization of grants be rolled out in the respective divisions. Before anything else, for us to be enlightened and clarified, let us define first what is a school-based management. A school-based management is the decentralization of decision-making authority from central, regional, and division levels to the individual schools with the intent of bringing together the school heads, ALS teachers, ALS learners, as well as parents, the local government units, and the community at large in producing improved learning outcomes through effective schools and now including the CLCs. This means that there is a collaborative effort among the schools and the community and all the stakeholders. There is a shared governance among the community and the school. The implementation of the school-based management started and institutionalized under DepEd Order Number 55 Series of 2008 and later was revised to DepEd Order Number 83 Series of 2012. The inclusion of ALS in the school-based management widened and extended the linkages and supports of the stakeholders in the delivery of ALS program. Both the formal school and the alternative learning system are geared together towards the same direction, which is to produce a functionally literate individual. Why include ALS in the school-based management? The rationale of the implementation of the inclusion of ALS in the school-based management is drawn from the pursuant to its goal of providing quality, inclusive, relevant, and liberating opportunities to out-of-school youth and adult learners. The alternative learning system aims to develop basic and functional literacy skills and equivalent pathways towards complete basic education. As DepEd pivots from the access to quality and in the compliance with the ALS roadmap, more schools should be able to implement ALS, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. To facilitate this, it is important for ALS to be officially included in the formal school-based management concept, which has matured as a governance tool over the past 2 decades. The inclusion of ALS in the school-based management is implemented in the context that the ALS curriculum requires an organization on the ground to strengthen program delivery, equal access to education support such as instructional leadership, specialist teachers, resources, facilities, and equipment is crucial for the success of the ALS. Need for schools to be more inclusive institution of learning, catering to learners without complete basic education. What are the features that there is a successful implementation of the inclusion of ALS in SBM? We can say that there is a successful implementation of the inclusion of ALS in the school-based management when pilot schools have enrolled new ALS learners in the community, inclusion of ALS teacher in the professional development program, established an accessible, supportive learning environment for ALS learners like classroom on ALS, access to facilities and equipment. Also, integrated ALS program in annual improvement plan with resources from grant, MOE, and other sources of funds. sustain existing completion rate of new enrollees in the ALS program. There will be a corresponding funds allocated to the implementing schools. What are the activities became a part and eligible for the allocation of funds? One of these activity is enhancing teaching and learning experiences. That includes reproduction of teaching and learning materials, minor repair of classroom or CLC, school supplies and hygiene kit like face mask, face shield, hand sanitizer and alcohol, then minor repair of equipment, lock session, and also with research. It also includes the graduation or the completion rights, creation of teacher-made learning materials for use in differentiated and innovative instruction, provision to learners of transportation services and meals or snacks, learners' ID, hygiene kits, and first aid supplies, not as allowance, transportation to be managed by the school. Purchase of tools, equipment, and materials like cloth, threads, towels, ingredients for baking, flower and balloon arrangement for NFeed, which is below 15,000. So when the amount will exceed 15,000, that is no longer eligible. Another activity which is also eligible for the allocation of funds is the improving school management and administrative process. That includes advocacy and education campaign for internal and external ALS stakeholders, payment of utilities as like bills for electricity, water, telephone, internet, which is consumed by the ALS implementation. Learner mapping or tracking of learners who are at risk of dropping. Then participation in schools divisions office, regional office, or central office meetings, and also orientations, trainings, and workshops. Strengthening resiliency of disadvantaged schools is also one of the activity which is eligible for the allocation of the program support funds. This includes the provision of IDs and ID lists for identification and security purposes, provision for services and supplies to ensure learners' health and safety, like feeding program. This will include the feeding program for 120 days of the severely wasted and wasted learners. Also, provision for personal hygiene, first aid kit, deworming medicine, and disaster supplies and kits. How the schools were selected to implement ALS in school-based management? The selection of the potential school is determined using the statistical model based on the submitted report and from the ABIS data. Selection of potential schools. The schools that are comparable to schools already implementing ALS will then be considered as the potential school to offer ALS services. The following are the schools in Region 10 to pilot the implementation of ALS in the school-based management. We have schools from Bukidnon. We have one. We have also one from Cagayan de Oro City, one from Lanao del Norte. We have two from Malaybalay City, two from Misamis Occidental, one from Misamis Oriental, and one from Valencia City. Funds for the implementation from the regional office were already downloaded to these schools. To ensure the smooth implementation of the program, DepEd created the monitoring and evaluation team. And the composition of the monitoring and evaluation team are as follows. We have the chairperson is the Schools Division Superintendent, Vice Chairperson, the Assistant Schools Division Superintendent. Then we have the team leader, the Chief of the SGOD. We have members, the SBM Focal Person, also the ALS Focal Person, the SEPs for M&E, PSDS, EPSA, and the school head. They will provide orientations, meetings on the enhanced SIP and the PSF. They will also monitor the progress of the project, and also they will review division-wide the implementation of the program and also the sharing of the best practices. Before we'll end the session, I would like to leave with you this African proverb which states that it takes a village to educate a child. This means that the entire community must interact together as one and responsible for children for them to experience and grow in a safe and healthy environment. God bless everyone and keep safe.